In this video, we're going to talk about how to build a graph of change over time. Now, I'm going to assume that you have already watched the video on how to build a bar chart. If you haven't, I want you to go back out and watch that video first. It goes into some detail about how to use Excel, which is where we have to begin this task. In the video on the basics of change over time, I introduced a bar chart that reported change in the racial makeup of the United States over about a 100-year period. And what we're going to do is convert it from this bar graph, the set of stacked bar graphs, into a line graph, a line chart that's usually used to indicate change over time. Now, I have to tell you just a couple of things. One is that the Census Bureau occasionally changes how it's doing things, and this chart includes a major adjustment that the Census Bureau made. And so even though all of these are decennial years, 1970, 1980, 1990, there's a line in here that's actually 2005. I've deleted that data so that we'll stay on a 10-year basis. So here we are in Excel, and I've entered the data so you didn't have to sit there and watch me type it. As you can see, 10 years with my years across the top, that is across the x-axis, and races down the y-axis. And then here's our different numbers. Now, I can do this as a bar graph, and all I have to do is cover all of that, come out to Insert, do Column, and set this up as a stacked bar graph. And what we have is something that's very similar to the graph that you saw. The only difference is that this is flipped with Asian at the bottom, right? And we could reverse that if we wanted to, but you see almost the same thing. In contrast, if we wanted to do this as a line graph, once again, what we do is highlight everything we want, come up here to Insert, and this time we just hit Line, right? Just like that. And there it is. We can see very clearly that the percentage of our population that's white is going to dip below 50 here in about the next 35 years, and that Hispanic population is growing, Asian is growing, Black is growing, but not quite so quickly. So we can compare these and see that these two different graphs represent exactly the same information. Now, just as we have with the bar graphs, when we go into these line graphs, we have a variety of layouts that we can use, different pieces of information that can be included. We can include labels for the lines. We can include the entire table. We can include values for some of the years. So there's a lot of variation here, and any of them are fine. You get to play with this, and you get to make it look the way you want it to look, as long as what you present is accurate. So that's it. It's that simple.